Thank you, Mark, and hello from London. Okay, it's been a busy and varied week for technical patterns. We've had such a lot compared to past weeks, plus we have others already in the offing, and that is hardly half the week gone, and in some cases half the month just gone. This past week we've had weekly key reversals up in spot Aussie dollar, LME 3-month copper, LME 3-month zinc, Chicago soybeans, and soybean oil, but interestingly not soybean meal. Then there's a growing favourite of mine, the Baltic Supramax index, a shipping index, and a market that equals and sometimes excels Bitcoin in volatility. We've also had this past week weekly key reversals down in US dollar against the Colombian peso, US dollar against the Thai baht, and Chicago lean hog futures. And a favourite of mine which I've commented upon before, it's Bitcoin. Please remember, all these last grouping have been weekly key reversals down. Now I'd like to delve into some of them, so as I do not have enough time to look at all of them. Firstly, LME 3-month copper and zinc. Well, in this case I'll not actually delve into these. I've only just published a video yesterday covering all the LME metals, and I would be just repeating myself rather than providing something fresh and new. So if you're interested in them, please look at my video published yesterday. However, I'll start with something easy. The Baltic Supramax index. This, as you may be aware, has had a massive rise this year between early February to late March, rising from about 1140 up to 2130 in about 6 weeks, a gain of about 87% in such a really short period of time. Then since late March the market has dropped down, originally from a weekly key reversal down, until last week when it reversed back up and we had a weekly key reversal up. This was due simply to one reason: the market approaching from above the lesser 38.2% Fibonacci support at 1753 and rejecting it. The bullish incentive is still there in this market, especially as it was rejected by a lesser Fibonacci level and not by the stronger support of the 50% Fibonacci level for the February to March move at 1636. I'd now like to talk about an old favourite, Bitcoin. Last week this market had a weekly key reversal down. Interestingly, whilst it also made a new all-time high. This is important, but there was another feature to this action which I'd like to draw your attention to. The prior week, so 2 weeks ago, this market had a weekly key reversal up. Hence, last week's action was an immediate countering weekly key reversal down. These types of plays, one after another, are rare on daily charts, but on weekly charts they are like hen's teeth. So what does it indicate? Well, to my mind, it is not an overt bearishness. Instead, I suspect it's indicative of heavy indecision, not intraday indecision, which is easy to find, not even interday indecision, but interweek indecision. It seems this market has yet to make up its mind on what it wishes to do, now going forward. Finally, as for the soybean complex, well, I'll be dealing with that tomorrow in my weekly videos. Now, all these have been me reporting events that have happened and analysing them accordingly. What about things that may be coming up? Well, we do have some possible developments that are worth keeping an eye upon. There are possible weekly key reversals in US dollar against the Canadian dollar and UK FTSE futures. The US dollar against the Canadian dollar is looking up at the moment, which may tie in with what Mark has just mentioned. Plus, the UK FTSE futures, well, that is looking down, and it has been a subject of my commentaries virtually every day. That is not all. For a week and a half to go until the end of April, we already have some possible monthly key reversals on the cards. We have a possible monthly key reversal down in US dollar against the Danish krona. Meanwhile, we may have monthly key reversals up in both New York and London sugar futures. Those two are especially interesting, and I've also made a video earlier this week about that, delving into this. We also seem set to have a monthly key reversal up in, of all things, Minneapolis wheat futures, though not in the other grains, either over here in Europe or in the US. Finally, there are possibilities of monthly key reversals in both euro sterling, a very interesting one that, still not clear though, and possibly maybe Chicago live cattle futures. These last two are not clear at all. And as I mentioned earlier, we still have a week and a half to go in these, as well as the other ones I've mentioned, so caution, but keep a wary eye on them. I'm happy to share my videos and charts with anyone who is interested. And with that, I'll finish this section from London. I hope you found these comments useful.